Officer May looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy. And you know how we do it. You know how we got to go through it. We, of course, talking about Wakanda Forever. You know what I mean? So, of course, we got to deal with the issues going on between all the things that's really going on in the Black Panther 2 movie. And of course, we got some items that people want to talk about. It's all dramatic. It's so great. It's so grand. And there's some things I felt might have not reached the level that some people wanted. And there's also some things that have reached great aspirations in this movie. And of course, we're going to go through all of these things, what I liked, what I didn't like, and the movie did miss T'Challa. But, let me say it like this: it was a very good movie. It was a very solid movie, and of course, you can disagree if you don't like the movie. There's plenty of things that I disliked about the movie, and we're gonna go over them while we go over. I'm sorry, I am on the road, so it's cold. I got a bunch of blankets. Everything is good. I'm on the road again. Shout out to everybody. I've been a little sick, so that's why you ain't seen me this week. You saw me Monday, and you ain't seen me since. But we back to the grind, and I appreciate y'all. And let's get into the show. Remember to like and subscribe, all that stuff, and we about to get into this show. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Let's go over this movie. How did I feel about the movie? I told you I liked it. T'Challa was vastly missed in this movie, but I did enjoy the movie. I cannot say I did not. It was a very fun movie, very engaging movie. A lot of discussion, a lot of talking points, a lot of character development, all that stuff. And I want to quickly go into my favorite part of the movie. Let's go over this. Favorite part of the movie, M'Baku. And Baku is literally the epitome of leadership in this movie. Even if he ain't the main character, even if he ain't the leader, he is the epitome of leadership. Every time they had something to go on in the communities and stuff like that, they all went to M'Baku throughout the movie. The Queen went through M'Baku, Angela Basset, she went through M'Baku. At the end of the movie, Sherry went through M'Baku. He said, "Your brother entrusted me to you." And that's his own form of leadership. I know we don't might not think about it, but that is his own form of leadership, being able to help lead and secure people in positions of power, people that got access to do things, lifting them up with people with talents to actually be able to lead and actually be in command. When you look at your communities, you don't think about the elders who lead and give advice and tutor the chief. You think about the chief. And unfortunately, that's how we have come in society, in which we just think about the chief as this the leader as this ultimate being in charge of everything. But in Baku, my man was funny. He led. You saw people respecting him. They went to him for his opinions. He led the younger generation to where it needs to be. I can actually take this off now. I just want to make sure the sound was good. Because, like I said, I'm in a difficult location right now to do certain things. But M'Baku was leading by example. Shiri went to him directly and like, "I need you for this." And he gave the advice, and he knew when to leave it alone. So a lot of people, you gotta, as a leader, you gotta know how to leave it alone and do things. So M'Baku was a very powerful character in this movie. Angela Basset. Angela Bassett put an Oscar worthy performance multiple times. Multiple times over, she put an Oscar performance. It was literally one of the best performances all the year I've seen. The emotion, the quivering in the voice, you can tell that the beautiful thing of this is it's sad, but you can tell how much they loved him. Which is gonna get into one of my reasons why I respected this movie in that aspect. And that's why when you see Lupita come in, she stole the show. Beautiful, stunning. Okoye with the scene she had with the Queen, very powerful scene. Amazing scene in which she and the Queen had this argument, and it brought up old stories. It kept storytelling alive. I absolutely adore that, by the way. It kept it alive. For y'all don't know what I mean, it brought up when Koye went with Killmonger. Angela Bassett brought it up. He like, "When you went with it, while my family was running away, going to M'Baku for help, to how does you were standing next to basically her nephew. You were standing next to him and over my son. You picked him over my son. Then you went with my daughter after I told you not to. For y'all, y'all seen the movie. It's a spoiler review. I hope y'all seen the movie. But you picked my son over him. That you took my daughter after I told you not to go. And you lost her after you promised it's gonna be okay. I can't trust it. She lost the thing. You saw the emotional. They did a great job, by the way. Okoye did an amazing job of playing off some of the funny things and being serious at the same time. She's always amazingly show. So the women stole the show, and Baku stole the show. Wakanda stole the show, which I think was the goal, right? Wakanda stole the show. The beauty of Wakanda. Not only that, the guy who played, I put it in here, but the guy who played Namor, he put on a performance. You can tell he kind of felt like I did this for the ancestral type thing. That's what he was going for. He put on a performance. His people was odd, but they were there to be led, but they were odd. I kind of like how they did it though, but it was still odd, right? For advanced civilization, they weren't like they used like this smart technology to like blow up stuff. But other than that, they had no other technology. In which I was talking to my brother when we watched the movie, and I was like, if Thor comes, Namor would be basically fighting 1-on-1 with his celestial daughter, and probably because she OP losing, while Thor just take care of everybody at one time, and then it's just them 1-on-1. Even though they were good fighters, I do give them that they were good fighters, but technological advance wise, only thing they could do was make sure their skin could come on the water, and they had them little water bombs. So I didn't think we got. It's just, like all my complaints are small, but might be bigger to you. That's what I'm gonna get. It might be bigger to you, all the small complaints I have. But one of the small complaints, you saw so little of Talokan. You saw so little of Talokan. And I absolutely wanted to explore more. It's a beautiful looking place. You saw the capital, how they used their vibranium for a little bit, but then you had to get out. It was already a 2 hour, 45-minute movie, so that's why it's so small. But I felt like we never connected with those people as much, which goes into some of my least favorite parts of the movie. Additional storylines and lack of story for Riri. A lot of these Ross and Val, their storyline was kind of there. I get why they did it though. That's why it's minuscule to me. It was there. It was just there. By the way, I understand why they did it. It's not a complaint. I just understand because I want to get more with Riri. I want to get more with Val and Ross to lead to the Thunderbolts and all this stuff. I want to get how that's going to work. But it just left me wanting more. And you might could have just made this movie slightly less with this and added more to the Riri story. Or you could have just maybe figured out how to live. Even though I understand Marvel didn't want to leave him out, so it was just like a preference, but it wasn't even that bad. It didn't bother me that much, but I can understand how it bothers some people. Like if you wanted to get invested in Riri and you couldn't, so she's like one of the worst parts of the movie for you, even though I think she played the role amazingly. But if she was one of the least favorite parts of you, I understand it. Cause I don't want y'all just to come up with these I want to give y'all see y'all reasoning. So in the comments, tell me y'all reasoning why y'all didn't like some of this stuff, right? Because I understand if it's like Riri, she didn't get no story development, she just felt like she was there. Some of the other plot lines were just there, and it made the movie longer than it had to be. I can understand some of the points, but some of y'all points I've seen online, we're gonna get in that after the show. It's kind of ridiculous, but yeah, you'll know Riri Williams' story if you go through it. It's an amazing story. They mention her father, which is big in her story in the comic book. So I'm hoping we get some stuff off that, and we learn more about her father and how. Maybe in this situation, Shuri becomes more of a role model to her instead of Iron Man because he's not there. Or they might do War Machine, something like that. And how her story unfolds, because her story is incredible. Because without it, she's just a copycat of Iron Man, right? She's just a copycat of Iron Man. Gerald said, I didn't have any problem with that movie. It's a good movie. It's a very good movie. One of my favorites this season. Behind No Way Home. It's the second favorite movie behind No Way Home. Shout out to Gerald in the chat. Anything else on what I'm talking about? So I can see y'all complaints, and I had a little complaint about these extra storylines. I get to want to know more about Riri and her father and that storyline because, like I said, it can be seen as a carbon copy of Iron Man if you don't give that backstory to her. Of course she's gonna get a lesser version of the mock, but she's still gonna get a mock. I'm pretty sure she done learned how to do some stuff in Wakanda, so she's gonna get a mock. It ain't gonna be as advanced as the one she had, so it ain't gonna be as advanced Iron Man. Probably gonna be early Iron Man when you get Iron Wars, but I'm looking forward to that storyline in the future. But I do understand if you had that criticism of the movie. Let's go to the questions of the day. Do you like how they recast the child, and how do they age them? Y'all let me know in the comments when I ask these questions, because I want to know y'all thoughts on these as well. I did. This is one of the things about the movie I actually enjoyed. Like, I'm not really going over spoilers because we did it yesterday. They talked about it on Make It Make Sense, so you can go over that whole thing tomorrow with them. So I just want to go on like some complaints and stuff I heard and just random questions that I have from this story. And y'all can talk about some other things too that relate to the story. We can talk about. We can discuss it. But I did like the way we learned at the end of the movie in the mid-credit scene that Prince T'Challa was born by Lupita's character in this movie. And I actually love the way they recast him because it makes it more natural. It's a more natural way to recast him, right? It's a more... Now, if you see the second part of this question, you can tell I do have one thing I want from it because I do not want him in the Young Avengers. But it's ways to do it, but I don't understand. I don't know how they're gonna do it per se. Even though, depending on how. But again, if Riri and them gonna be in Young Avengers, they'll be 28 by the time he's 18. So they have to find a way to age him up. But I absolutely adore the way they recast T'Challa. It was a way that the cast could honor Chadwick Bosemen. Because it would be so hard to honor him in a movie. Daryl got a question. Who was Baku about to challenge my question? I'm going to get to that next. But it was so hard to recast him and give honor to Chadwick Boseman character. And they found a way to do it. They found a tactful way to do it. They gave a whole movie about the loss and how important he was. You can see it in the characters. And they also recast him at the same time. They tried to please both groups. I think the people that didn't want the recast loved it. The people that did, some of them loved it. So that's why I think the movie overall is getting such a high regard, even among one of the most loved movies of them. But I think that's why they did it. I think it's a way to ease over everybody. Although I'm gonna get to the second question after I answer this question. Who is Baku about to challenge? Is my question. I think it's set up in Baku to be the king. I think Shuri don't want to be queen. She's like, I'm the protector, I'm not the queen. And I think they set in Baku to be the king. So one of my favorite characters, as y'all saw earlier in the show, my number one favorite part in Baku from his jokes where the spy saves the kingdom again. I wonder how the queen will repay her, maybe banishment for life. I died laughing. Because if y'all know Black Panther 1, she saved the kingdom, she banished her for life. That's how it goes. And Lupita character is still banished. She's in Haiti. So, and I think in Baku was challenging for the king because they don't have a king, and I don't think Shuri was gonna be the queen in that situation. She was gonna be the protector, and she gave up that. So, in Baku was trying to see who's gonna fight for the king because basically, I think the ending basically showed, listen, I'm not here to fight for the queen role. Y'all can have it. Because M'Baku even said at that point, well, she gives her regard, she's not going to be here. I'm here to challenge for the king, meaning whoever he fights, he's going to be king. So I'm thinking they gave M'Baku the king role. Unfortunately, some of the other men that might have challenged wasn't able, so they just wrote them off as they still in prison for joining Killmonger. So I think that was a good thing. And then my second part of my question of the day, how do they age him? Because I feel like they have to age him. We have ways. We have the quantum zone now that can age you, and I'm pretty sure Moon Knight introduced gods and including and Thor introduced the god of Wakanda. So I think these shows already introduced these gods and stuff. So I think there's a way to age T'Challa. And why do I personally want them to age him through like certain means, especially if we got sequel, is because his story is not meant to be Young Avengers story. Unless they trying to mend Young X Men, Young Avengers together instead of making like, which they could be doing by the way. I want to know y'all thoughts on this. Cause am I okay if they make the new Hawkeye basically the new Iron Man and the young version of X Men? Because we know this T'Challa is supposed to marry Storm, right? And then we get this amazing story after Secret Wars of X Men versus Avengers versus Eternals. Because I know you have no reason to introduce the Eternals without that storyline. Because that storyline is invaluable to what's in the future. So that's a great story, by the way. That is a great story. By the way, that's a recent story, and it's a great story. And I think by 2030 you can get that story because Secret Wars in 2026. You have 3 more segments, and then you can get to that story, and maybe some Galactic story and all that stuff too, and on along the way. So maybe they do Young X Men. Would y'all like that? Would y'all like Young X Men or Young Avengers when they got the new Iron Man type, the new Hawkeye type, Thor's daughter, essentially? And maybe, and y'all know how, if you know anything about Thor, Thor is always reborn. Even if so, you see Chris Hemsworth, that Thor is gonna be reborn. So he might be like a 18-year-old who was always meant to be Thor after he died, like it's already set up. Because if you know how Thor works, guys can never die. So technically, they just transfer into another body. Outside, I think Odin sometimes I don't think Odin ever comes back, but all the other ones kind of do. So they can introduce that anytime. So they can bring a new Thor at any time. So it won't be changing things. Hulk will be very interesting how they would do Hulk, but Hulk can always be older though, and you can. They already recast Hulk actors, so I don't know. But would y'all like a Young Avengers X Men versus Eternal storyline? How would y'all like that? I want to know because that's an interesting. They could very much do that, and he can still marry Storm. They do it. They have to do a time skip because I know in Spider-Man 4 they already having a rumor of time skip. So would y'all be okay with that, or do y'all want T'Challa to be aged through the quantum zone or something, and then he marries Storm and all that stuff? Because Lupita and them fairly a bit older than him. Let me know in the comments what y'all think on that. Question number 2. Does this movie confirm X-Men won't be to after Secret War? I think it does. It's about T'Challa. I think the most amazing stories you can do is T'Challa and Storm characters together. I think those are the most amazing things you can do to this story. Because that breathes so much life into T'Challa's character. And the fact that Storm hasn't been introduced, this gives it opportunity to at a reasonable time. But I think this holds off on the X-Men. Do I think we get X-Men? Secret Wars 100%. I think we get a variety of the older version of the X-Men. The ones we already seen from Fox. I think they'll bring them in. You'll get a new Wolverine after Secret Wars. Or you might get them right before certain characters. But they'll be younger. I think you'll get an older version that's like a big algorithmic group of older superheroes from everybody. And the only thing I do think you get a new Fantastic Four though. But everything else I think you'll get a newer X-Men after, but I think they're gonna still bring back X-Men. As we know, Hugh Jackman will be in Deadpool, and the guy from Loki, my man from Loki, is rumored to be in there too. So we got that. So I want to know y'all thoughts on when we'll get the X-Men. Do you think it's confirmed after Secret War now? Because I really do. I think the newer version, the MCU official version, because I think, like I said, I think we're still getting Fox's version and all them in the upcoming show. And question number 3, before we start get ready to get out here and we just talk overall about society and stuff. Was black man represented in this movie? It's a nuanced question. Because M'Baku was represented amazing. But you can also say there were no other black men represented in this movie at all. Even though 2 of them technically would be because scheduling conflicts. So it's kind of hard when most of the people in your movie has another movie and you on a deadline made by Disney that you have to get this done by this time, while the other one is making Woman is King and the other one I forgot what he was doing. So you kind of have that struggle, and then like of course the main character passes away, which are all the men figures in the movie seem to have extenuation circumstances. So were they represented well in this movie? You cannot lie and say they were. But if Michael was so vital to the movie that you can kind of like trying to excuse it, but we weren't. And I want to go into this on the society realm, and this is where I think some bad faith actors here. As black men, I think we're a little selfish, so I'm gonna go over that part. Let's just give it. Black women finally got two movies in which they shine in, and the first thing we do is complain that we not in it. And I've actually heard some people say this, by the way, why come we can't shine together? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. If we go from the 1980s to now, most black men movies where they black men shine on their own. So letting black women shine on their own shouldn't be much of a problem. Which we're gonna get into more of a societal part, right? About this, how the concept of this movie and the thought process behind this movie is going into. Because I sat here and I listened and I thought for a long time, right? I sat here and listened, and I'm hearing these panels and these threads and these people talking how certain black women hate black men and how black men hate black women, how they talk down on each other, and how it's strange to me. And how it's a theory going out, right? That somehow they're trying to demasculate the men and raise the women up so our community ain't this strong. But so I decided to go and do a little experiment. We in the Zell theory category now, even though I wanted. This is about this movie though. This is where this theory came from, the first initialized. So my first thought was, if I was to break a community, I would attack a weakness of the community. It's so sad that we down our women so much that the thought of a woman Black Panther was hurtful to black men when it was his sister. True. I'm like, and I'm gonna get to that, Gerald. Shout out to Gerald. My thought process goes like this, right? If I was to hurt the black community, how would I hurt? Would I emasculate the man? No. Black women want a emasculated man, right? They want a masculine man. Let's just be honest. Most women do. The theory that we don't, Cynthia G and all them is very slow in number. But the theory that we don't is insane. Like you just talk to people, they want men that lead and all that stuff. So it's not true. So how do I really do it? I attack the one thing that black men have. The ego. Right? I will attack my ego. If you want a weakness of a man, specifically a black man, never been any man, but especially a black man, you attack his ego. It's the reason we wear chains, fancy clothes, all the most expensive stuff. We have this ego. We have this pride. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? This is our strength, right? This is what we are as black men. Our pride, our chains, our necklaces, who we are. We're the powerful, strong, all this stuff. So if I wanted to attack a black man in this culture, and this is going off the story again, the thing I would do was say, you not powerful, the women powerful. And watch the black man implode on itself. Why do you say that, Zell? Why do you say that? Let me go. The second they start winning, let's be honest, we have Blade, we have all kinds of people. Matter of fact, we got the biggest and bad of the whole series came. We got Wonder Man coming. I'm pretty sure Blue Marvel's coming. Storm is the biggest black superhero woman-wise. And she is a side character in the X-Men and the Infinity Story. She's the side character to T'Challa. She's the side character to the X-Men. She's one of the most powerful mutants in the world, Omega level. She's a sidekick. And the second one, let's go back to this. The second a black woman gets something, the black man make it about him. And that's an attack on ego. So if I was actually to come up with a theory on how to attack and destroy a family connection, I would do that. I would raise the black woman up and let the black man get jealous. That is my theory on what's going on. If there was a theory out here to destroy the black family, I think that would be. Because I admit it, my ego is huge. I'm learning how to check my ego as we speak a lot of times. I do. I learned how to check my ego. So that's an interesting concept I thought about when we were going over this in this movie and in the thought process of was black men representing this movie. By the way, I 100% want more black men in this movie. I don't want to take away from that. I think we should have a lot more access to this movie and a lot more black characters that were black male that were represented. Because let's be honest, it's the first MCU movie, and you can say what you mean, Trevor. They getting all of it now. I'm like, Riri Williams and Shuri are the first two black female characters in this whole movie, in this whole MCU. You could say Monica Rambeau, but if you know Monica Rambeau, she is the wife of the most powerful superhero in Marvel, Blue Marvel. Look again, she's the wife of the most powerful. You see what I'm saying? It's still you still Storm, the wife of T'Challa. All the big name black women are the wife of the powerful black man. Which I hope we get into, by the way. I hope Storm be the wife of T'Challa. I hope that black family dynamic. I hope Ryan Coogler falls into that. By the way, Ryan Coogler is the first black man to have two movies in the top 15 thing. So I want that. So I hope T'Challa grows, which goes back to my question. I hope T'Challa grows. I hope that happens. And by the way, the way to defeat that, support our women. Like, do like M'Baku. Hey, baby girl, I love you. And M'Baku at the end became the king. I'm assuming he's becoming king. So that's one of the thoughts on it. And like, why do we have to down our women when it's over? And it goes to a lot of things. I hear a lot of things out there about everything and how black women don't feel protected and a bunch of stuff. And that's a whole nother topic for a whole other day. But I want to tell Sherry, shout out to you, Angela Basset, Okoye, all y'all did amazing. Baku, you were a king in that movie. You had it down. Namor, dude, you can act, man. You put on. I'm just saying, shout out to the Southern American people, the Mexican, the ones of Aztec descent and the Mayan descent. Shout out to y'all, cause y'all got y'all superhero, and he did his thing. And as y'all saw, he had a plan that black people and them come together, and that's a dope idea, by the way. But and I like they showed imagery. One thing I like about this movie, it was a movie about sadness, but it was ultimately not like traditional sadness, like colonizer sadness. It was like loss, something that everybody can relate to. Everybody can relate to Shuri. Shuri lost everyone. Her and Thor lost everyone legitimately. You have people who lost the most. And you had a thread of Thor, Shuri, Peter, and the Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch lost the least because Vision's still alive, and she lost her brother, and that's it. Then her kids wasn't real, but then they were real in another universe and all kind of stuff. But so that's kind of more convoluted. Thor lost everybody in his family, so he just I put his character as just he just joke around just to like hide the pain of him losing everybody. Because before he lost everybody, he wasn't like a jokester. Then after he lost everybody, I could think you put it jokes. Peter Parker lost the one person he close to, but technically everybody else still alive. They just don't know who he is, which is kind of what you can put on that level of Thor and Shuri, who lost. Shuri lost everybody, but she gained a nephew at the end. But you could put Peter Parker, because I wonder how hard it is in life to have your whole family and a lot of people you love just don't know who you are. That could be stressful. I want to know y'all thoughts. Who in the comment section? I didn't even put this on here because I didn't think about it. Who do you think had it worse out of the four characters I mentioned? Scarlet Witch, Peter Parker, Shuri, or Thor? I want to know y'all thoughts. I want to know who y'all think. If I can let me make another question for y'all. Who do y'all think? Who had it? Who had the worst loss? Or who do you feel? I'm just gonna say, who do you feel like had it the roughest in the way they lost in Marvel? I want to see y'all thoughts. I want to know y'all thoughts in the comments. Let me know. as I go over some more stuff I liked in the movie and some stuff I think they could have worked on. And we're gonna get out of here. I don't want to be too long, so about 35 minutes will be enough. So we got about 5 more minutes. I don't know your thoughts. Who had it worse? Peter Parker. He lost his Aunt May, but he also lost everybody. But technically he didn't because they still alive. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm trying to think. I could see them all the time, and I might could reconnect with them, but it won't be the same because they don't remember me, right? Where Shuri just lost everybody and she can never get them back, right? She don't even believe in the ancestors, so she can't even see them through the little tribal thing. She only can see Killmonger. And Thor just lost everyone, but he got a child now, so all of them kind of gained something. And the Scarlet Witch is just a lot of that in her own mind. So I don't know how I don't know if y'all can pick up if y'all want to. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can pick up if y'all want to. But while y'all go over that question, I'm gonna actually write it down. We're gonna talk about a little more. I did. How do y'all like about Val and Russ and their connection and how she knew everything? She had it bugged. That means she know everything. Do y'all think America's going to war with Wakanda? Oh, Gerald, I wanna know more about that. Why does she think she had the worst loss? Because that was my least one, right? Because most of that stuff was in her head. Even though I guess mentally, you could say mentally, she did have the worst loss. Because her mind is gone, right? It wasn't like she never, you can technically say everyone else healed but her, right? But we don't. I think Peter healed when he tried to let her know who he was and then realized that her life was going good without him. So he kind of like, okay, she's doing good in life. I don't want to mess up. Shuri found her nephew and found the ancestors and all that. Thor found that little girl as he lost his love of his life at the same time. Even though we found out they have Valhalla, but I don't know why you think Scarlet had the worst loss. Even though I get it though, because she's the one that haven't here. Mentally, she was completely broken. Shuri was at least have a nephew. Now, true. It's we don't want it. We don't want it. You know what I'm saying? We don't want that. But true. Mentally, she was broken. Yeah, Shuri had a nephew. Spider-Man had his group, right? But even though they don't remember him, which is kind of mad. After asking this, I thought it was easy between Shuri and Thor, but now I think about it, it's not as easy as I thought it was. Because one is mind broken, the other one has people that love him, but they don't know him. And walking around with just imagine your whole family don't know you. Like because you did something to protect them or save the world, you had to make sure everybody in your family don't know you, and just to keep it safe, you kind of don't want them to know you know. Even your friends, your co-workers, the Avengers don't know who you are. They know Spider-Man. They don't know you. All them connections you had is gone. Like the only person you can say is Tony Stark, and he's not alive. By the way, it's a rumor that Tony Stark might be back for Secret War as another version of himself, which with him and Spider-Man would be very interesting. Shout out to Tom Holland for getting sick, so. You said Shuri has her nephew. That's true. But she lost her family back to back to back. And like it just her and her nephew now. And of course, the Peter's character. While we're going over there and Gerald can give me more of his thoughts, he did give me some. But what about Thor and Shuri, Gerald? I mean, Thor and Peter Parker. Another thing I want to say about shout out to the beautiful black women in this movie. Natural body, beautiful, gorgeous, natural black women that we love. I want to give them a shout out before I get out here. I know we only got 30 more seconds before I say I want to get out of here, but I have to give y'all a shout out. Amazing. Y'all looked amazing throughout the movie. Y'all was incredible. Y'all were queens, powerful looking. I loved it. Maybe everybody didn't love it. I loved it. I like to see my queen shine. I can wait till Wonder Man come out. Wonder Man, by the way, if you don't know who Wonder Man is, good character. Blue Marvel, the most powerful character in Marvel. Essentially. He's stronger than Sentry. So, like the ultra version of Superman in Marvel. he took on he took on gods before, so we get the most powerful character soon. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure it should show up in the Marvels, and he probably should be dating Monica Rambeau. Even if he don't, I wonder will they show him early. So Monica Rambeau in there, he has to be in, right? Yeah, Lupita, sure. And they did their thing in this movie, Jared. I was so happy for him, by the way. I was happy y'all got to shine. That's maybe the reason I'm opposite. I'm like, I'm happy to see y'all shine. And to see black women happy, that made me happy. To have that pride, because that's how I felt when I saw the Black Panther. Even though I know everybody felt it because it was a black person, but to watch the women like, that's our hero. You know what I mean? That's our movie for the black women. I'm like, I know you had the King is Dead movie. Woman is King, I mean. What did I say? Woman is King. But I want to. They gave great performance to it, and they lived up to it. What else can I say? They lived up to it. They did that thing. I can't say nothing else. I enjoyed the movie. The movie was good. Was it the best movie ever? No Way Home was the best Phase 4 movie. This was the second best to me. But the movie was very good. We saw black women shining. We saw the Aztec Mayan people who ain't had no representation get represented. It was an amazing movie. Ryan Coogler, by the way, like I always say this, Ryan Coogler, if I ever have a chance to learn from you, I would love to learn filmography from you, videography. I would learn how all that worked from you because I adore how his handling the movie film is. The guy who did the woman who did Eternals too, I would learn from you, and the person that did Dune. I might not take your film style, but I like the way you shoot film scenes. So, person Dune shot scenes amazing. Ryan Coogler is one of the best, man. The way he fit scene to scene together, it just feels good. So I always want to give Ryan Coogler love. The score was amazing. Rihanna's song hit at the right time. Like they hit the songs at the right time. I feel this was more like sad, but the first one was more powerful. We gonna be all right and all that stuff. The certain scenes was amazing, did by Kendrick Lamar, and this one hit you in the field at the right time. And I also want to give Marvel very much credit for one thing before we get out of it. Is that dedication to Chadwick Boseman when you didn't play the Marvel song and you just had the Marvel thing come through. You had the movie silent. I mean, to have everyone stop talking, everybody gave Chadwick Boseman his flowers right there. No one said a word. Jared, I don't know if you can tell me before we get off. Did anyone say a word when they did that scene? When that scene came on, did anyone say a word, Jared? I mean, you could hear a pin drop. There were no Marvel music. People were talking right before, and as soon as it came on, it stopped. Everyone just was silent. It was a moment of silence everywhere. And I'm like, that is a beautiful way to honor a man. Like a black man got that. That's prideful to me. That's all I needed in this movie, honestly. The movie was silent at least 5 times. That's what I'm saying. But when that intro came and then it didn't make it, normally they have that like big old Marvel thing and they say Marvel Studio, but they gave Chadwick the scene. Yeah, Jerry, my girl was balling. Like that, they gave up. I like taking wins because I know in this world people don't like to give black people wins. I understand that, and then even about that. But I'm just telling y'all the truth. A black man got one of the most touching tributes in a movie ever, and you want to complain about it? Listen, you don't get that if you recast him. I'm sorry, they did what they had to do to me. I enjoy the way they did it. They recast it. They basically recast him. They made his son another version of T'Challa with the same name. He's gonna probably grow up, and we're gonna get the X-Men. We're gonna get all the stories we wanted, which I wanted in the first place. We right before they announced this, we got Wonder Man. We got a black man being the main villain in Guardians of the Galaxy. We got a black man, the main villain of the whole. He got a movie named after him, Kang Dynasty. We are winning. I can give black women this. Shout out to y'all. Y'all killed this movie, and we got the most awesome tribute to a black man I've ever seen on TV or on the screen in my life. The only time I've probably felt more sad and happy at the same time was probably like a Kobe tribute. But I knew Kobe a lot longer than I knew Chadwick. even though I gained a lot of, like, he was on a roll during them last years while he was sick. But I knew Kobe since I was like Kobe started playing basketball when I was 7 years old, and I was have him all the way till I was 28. That's 21 years of another grown man playing, doing something I love and enjoying watching the play. That, like, you can't take 21 years and compare it, but somehow this got close to that, and I'm like, good job, Marvel. That's what I'm saying. Yo, listen, shout out to Chadwick. Shout out to the cast. I enjoyed that they got to give the tribute to a man they loved. I'm happy they got to give that tribute to him without having to recast and not give that tribute, because you can see it in the. You can tell even time they weren't acting. I feel like they sometimes it's like, go and say how you feel about Chadwick, and then we gonna just pretend like it's T'Challa. Just go out there and cry about your friend. When Lupita, like, to everybody else, he was Black Panther, he was this, but he was, to me, he was Mike T'Challa. They was, y'all killed it. That's all I gotta say. It was amazing, and I'm not gonna say the movie was the most amazing movie I've ever seen. It was a really good movie, but I loved what I loved in the movie. Right? It was some stuff I said in there already. I didn't really. I felt like they could have did more with, or could have took out, or something like that. And they all valid. The movie was long for some people. Like, if you wasn't like emotionally involved, the movie could be very long for you. Uh, so I understand some criticism of the movie. Some of them, like I said, was kind of weird, and I went over why I think that's weird in your whole theory. But overall, they did a great job. Thank you, Gerald, for being here. Thank you for anybody else that watching. Remember to hit that simple. If you enjoy the content, hit that like and subscribe. By the way, if you enjoy Blur, go follow Blur Cartel. You see it right there. Just follow them. You know what I mean? If you like Kid Creative Play, his music on the channel. It's one of the things that play when you first get on. Kid Creative Player, go follow him. Shout out to my guy BMT, Business Minded Talk, Black Male Talk. Gerald, one you want to do, he's on here. As you see, Gerald, he might be on with me with wrestling tomorrow. So shout out to him. Also, like I said, if you enjoy this content right here, make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. We will be doing ever show. I'm gonna be more active. I'm gonna be doing more real world stuff that I kind of don't care about, but I'm here for you. So I know y'all want to talk about it, so I'm gonna talk about it, and I appreciate y'all. And shout out again one more time, my boy Gerald. And as he said, these are my favorite parts of the movie. And Baku is 100% number one for me. He was amazing. He was a leader, even though he wasn't the main character. That's amazing. I do appreciate y'all. And I do thank y'all for watching. I really do. And I want y'all to keep stomping. I really do. I want y'all to keep stomping. Why? Because no matter how hard it is, no matter how many people hate you, no matter how many people call you a sellout, how many people don't like you, people that try to lie on your name, people that try to ruin your life, because the devil is busy. He's busy, folks. If you don't believe in him, somebody busy trying to ruin your life. And I just want y'all to know, if you keep stomping and keep trying and being a good person, something amazing can happen. Peace.